It's about time we got some good news from the franchise that seems to be simultaneously exploding with content while still managing to disappoint long-term fans at every turn. The Academy kids are coming back, and honestly, it might be the smartest move Paramount Plus has made since greenlighting Strange New Worlds. But listen, let's not get ahead of ourselves. This renewal comes after a rocky first season that had plenty of production drama, cast shake-ups, and a fandom divided over whether we even needed another prequel series. I've gathered everything worth knowing about Starfleet Academy Season 2, and frankly, there's more going on than you might think. Season 1 was a surprise hit despite production problems. When Paramount Plus announced Starfleet Academy back in 2023, the collective eye roll from Trek fans was practically audible. Another prequel? Another batch of fresh-faced cadets? Hadn't we already done this with the abandoned 1990s concept and those forgettable short treks? But you know what? Against all odds, the show's first season, which premiered in March 2025, actually worked. The series started with decent viewership numbers that grew steadily through its 10-episode run. By the finale, it was pulling in audience figures that rivaled Strange New World's second season. Critics praised its blend of teen drama and classic Trek idealism, calling it the Federation meets Euphoria, but smarter, and the Gen Z Star Trek we didn't know we needed. Fans were initially sceptical, but gradually warmed to the diverse cast of characters navigating life at the Academy in the late 24th century post-Picard era. What most viewers didn't know was that behind the scenes it was chaos. Showrunner Gaia Violo departed halfway through production over creative differences, with Alex Kurtzman and Noga Landau stepping in to salvage the season. Two main cast members were recast after the plot and entire storylines were reportedly scrapped and rewritten mid-production. It's a miracle the show turned out coherent, let alone good. The first season finale, which aired just last month, left viewers with a major cliffhanger involving a Romulan spy infiltrating the Academy and a mysterious temporal anomaly threatening Earth. Well, fans have been speculating wildly, but as of now it looks like their theories won't be left hanging in subspace. The cast is all coming back. Well, mostly. The core Academy cast is set to return, with Lily Santiago confirmed to reprise her role as Cadet Nyota Boone, the ambitious command track student with a complicated family history. Santiago's breakout performance as the great-granddaughter of Nyota Uhura was one of the show's highlights, earning her comparisons to Sonequa Martin Green's Michael Boonem, but with more room to breathe and grow. Also returning are Kulani Nikosi as the brilliant but socially awkward Vulcan-human hybrid Tepev, Bella Shepherd as the rebellious engineering prodigy Majel Sato, and Eduardo Cantillo as the charming medical student Shasith Chatalon. The veteran cast members are back too, with Andre Day Kim continuing as the strict but fair Admiral Chen, and Holly Hunter reprising her guest role as Fleet Admiral Janeway. Yes, that Janeway. The one major question mark is Daniel Ezra, who played the mysterious exchange student Cadet Renzu. His character's true identity as a Romulan operative was revealed in the season finale, and Paramount Plus is tight-lipped about whether he's returning. My sources say contract negotiations are ongoing, but honestly, it would be crazy to drop that bombshell and not follow through, right? But what's interesting is that despite the behind-the-scenes drama, none of the main cast has jumped ship. In an era where young actors frequently bail on successful shows for movie careers, that's telling. The chemistry we found is special, Santiago told Entertainment Weekly in April. We've become a family, just like our characters. Nikosi echoed the sentiment in a recent podcast appearance, saying Tepev has so much more growing to do, I couldn't walk away from this character now. Production starts this summer with a new showrunner. According to Paramount Plus's announcement, production on Season 2 is set to begin in July 2025, with an expected premiere in early 2026. That's a tight turnaround by Trek standards, especially considering the effects-heavy nature of the show. But the studio seems determined to capitalise on the momentum, even if it means rushing things. The biggest change is behind the camera. After the mid-season showrunner swap in Season 1, Paramount Plus has tapped Terry Matalas to take over as showrunner. If that name sounds familiar, it should. Matalas is the creative force who salvaged Star Trek Picard's final season, turning it from a meandering nostalgia fest into a genuinely thrilling send-off for the Next Generation crew. Bringing him on board is a power move that suggests Paramount Plus is finally learning from its mistakes. Starfleet Academy has this incredible potential to bridge the gap between classic Trek idealism and modern storytelling, Matalas said in the press release. We're going to push these cadets to their limits while staying true to what makes Star Trek special. Translation? Well, expect more character-driven drama, but with bigger stakes and tighter plotting. The writers' room has already been assembled with some notable additions. 2 writers from Strange New Worlds have joined the team, along with a veteran from the Orville, Fox's Trek-inspired series that many fans argue is more Trek than recent Trek. They're reportedly breaking the season now, with plans for an expanded 13-episode run. Season 2 will explore a brewing conflict with the Romulans. And while Paramount Plus is keeping plot details under wraps, several cast interviews and that telling showrunner hire suggest Season 2 will lean heavily into the Romulan storyline teased in the finale. Remember, we left off with the revelation that the Romulans have been secretly infiltrating Starfleet Academy as part of a long-game intelligence operation. Now, that's a classic Trek plot if ever I've heard one. Matalas himself dropped some hints in a recent Trek podcast appearance. The Academy setting gives us this unique perspective on larger galactic politics. These cadets are training to be officers, while the universe they'll serve in is changing around them. He also mentioned that Season 2 would deepen the connections to Trek lore without becoming impenetrable to new viewers, which honestly sounds like a tagline Paramount Plus would slap on any Trek property. Santiago was more forthcoming in her Entertainment Weekly interview, revealing that Season 2 will delve into what happens when these idealistic cadets confront the reality that not everyone in the galaxy shares Federation values. Shock horror. She added that her character will be particularly challenged by discoveries about her family's past connections to Starfleet intelligence. The temporal anomaly plot isn't going away either. Cantillo let slip at a convention that Season 2 will feature some mind-bending time elements that challenge everything they've learned in temporal mechanics class. Time travel in Trek? Woohoo! Groundbreaking! But with Matalas at the helm, the same guy who handled the Confederation timeline in Picard Season 2 with surprising deftness, it might actually work, Well, the budget has been increased significantly, and according to industry reports, Paramount Plus has increased the budget for Starfleet Academy Season 2 by nearly 30% over Season 1. That's a massive vote of confidence in the show that was initially developed as a lower-cost alternative to the effects-heavy Discovery and Strange New Worlds. The first season already had impressive production values, right? Particularly in the Academy campus settings and the training starship sequences, but it noticeably pulled back on off-world adventures and large-scale space battles, keeping most of the action Earthbound. The increased budget suggests we'll be seeing more of the galaxy in Season 2. Ngozi hinted at this expanded scope in a recent interview. T'Pev's journey in Season 2 takes her to places she never expected to go, both emotionally and literally. We're not just stuck in classrooms anymore. Shepard was even more explicit, telling SFX magazine that her character gets to really put her engineering skills to the test when the cadets find themselves in deep space without experienced officers to guide them. Well, this tracks with rumours that Season 2 will feature a storyline where the cadets are forced to take command of a starship during a crisis, a classic coming-of-age Trek scenario that we've seen variations of since the original series. With the bigger budget, this could be the show's defining moment, right? It's bridging the gap between Picard and the 25th century. Starfleet Academy takes place in the Trek timeline, set in the early 25th century, roughly 20 years after the events of Picard's finale. It's currently the furthest point forward in Trek's main timeline. That makes it uniquely positioned to shape the future of the franchise. Season 1 included several nods to Picard and the Next Generation era, including the holographic resurrection of Data as an ethics professor, with Brent Spiner returning for 2 episodes, and references to the synthetic rights movement triggered by the events of Picard. But Season 2 is reportedly going to lean even harder into building this post-Picard era. We're essentially creating a new chapter in the Trek timeline, Matalas explained. These cadets are the first generation to grow up in a federation that's truly recovered from the crises of the late 24th century. They're inheriting a more confident, expansionist Starfleet, but also one that faces new threats. Now, those new threats apparently include, but not just the Romulans, but also some familiar faces. The casting rumours circulating suggest we might see the return of some Picard-era characters, with whispers that Michelle Hurd could reprise her role as Raffi Musica, now a senior Starfleet intelligence officer. There's also speculation about a certain android daughter of Data making an appearance, but nothing's confirmed yet. Season 2 could define the future of Star Trek, you see. As the furthest point in the timeline, it has the freedom to introduce elements that could ripple through future Trek productions, and with Matalas at the helm, a producer who deeply understands both Trek history and modern TV demands, it has the potential to set a new standard. The challenges are real, though, maintaining quality with a rushed production schedule, satisfying both new fans and Trek diehards, navigating corporate uncertainty at Paramount+, and evolving the premise without losing what works. But for the first time in years, there's a sense that a Trek show knows what it wants to be. We're building something that honours 55 plus years of Trek while charting new territory, Matalas said in his statement. These cadets represent the future, not just of Starfleet, but of the Trek franchise itself. For a franchise that's always been about looking forward with hope, that's exactly the right sentiment. Now they just need to execute it. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video, and I'll catch you on the next one. See you later. Bye.